in, and then the administration
Holy shit.
acted.
They're at it again.
The kids out of this facility. Why did it take that for the administration to act? It does suggest that there's some wiggle room here, someplace for these kids to go.
Well, I'd have to refer you to the Department of Homeland Security on that for details about that situation. But this is part of what the acting secretary and I have been talking about is these Customs and Border Patrol facilities, they were not built to house migrant families. They weren't built to house tens of thousands of unaccompanied children in. And so that's part of what the supplemental is asking for is resources so they can get those types of proper facilities to care for these people. And then we need the money so that we can expand our capacity and be able to take in these kids so that we can then process them through, find safe and secure
motherfuckers. You guys are going to make me late to work.
And I'd love to have a daily census in my facilities of 0. That's not practical, but we're all working to try to improve conditions, and we got to get this money, though. We got to get this money, and we got to get it immediately. This is not a time for gamesmanship. We got to get it funded, and it's got to come in a way that doesn't harm the ability to just run the program for the sake of getting these kids placed out there as quickly as possible.
Secretary Azar, you mentioned the high number of unaccompanied minors coming across the border. But some of the kids coming across the border are coming across the border with adults who are family members. They're just not their parent or legal guardians. It's say an auntie or an uncle. So they're being separated and they're being treated as unaccompanied. Do you think that regulation needs to change so these kids can just stay with a responsible family member?
These are probably brothers.
Well, that's an issue for Congress to consider. There's the Trafficking and Victims Protection Act, which Congress has put in place that has very stringent requirements to protect children. That would be for Congress to address. We do end up placing these kids with some of those very same aunts and uncles. After we vet them, we go through the full background checking on them to ensure they're appropriate from a child welfare perspective. So it may be that once those parents are released, it ends up being with those same people they cross the border with.
Secretary of Health and Human Services Alex Azar, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, I want to bring in NPR's White House correspondent Tamara Keith. She's been listening in. Hi, Tam.
Hi.
All right, so you heard Secretary Azar say, we need the money, we need the money, we need the money, and it's up to Congress to get us the money. Can you talk a little bit about the role that Congress is playing or not playing here? Where do we stand on this funding?
Right, so both the House and Senate are working on bills that would deliver humanitarian aid to the border. Already, though, the White House has issued a veto threat for the House bill, that's the one from the Democrats, saying that it's partisan, underfunds necessary accounts, and would make the country less safe. And it also, this statement from the White House also complains that the Senate bill, as well as the House bill, don't fund ICE detention beds. Now, the veto threat may be a moot point because
stop it.
Having trouble with some Republicans not willing to support it, and the House is having trouble with Democrats, more progressive Democrats and members of the Hispanic caucus feeling like it doesn't go far enough to dictate to the administration how children should be treated. So there's a lot to be negotiated, and there's not a lot of time, actually, because the 4th of July recess is coming up.
But based on what you're saying, it sounds as though the administration